Hey, I'm Cody Wood. I collect photo books. Why is that? Well, short answer is I just like them. But for me, owning photo books carries with it like a sense of guilt. I don't read it. I don't understand it. I bought the wrong one. I don't get it. Why isn't my book done yet? This one was too expensive. I love that one. I wish I had this other one instead. Willem has really nice ones. I haven't looked at that one since I got it. Where is my book? Where is my book? It hurts my neck to look at. I haven't looked at that one since I got it. Willem has nice ones. I wish I had this other one instead. This one I get. I understand it. That one was too expensive. This one is boring. Why isn't my book? This one I just don't understand. I bought the wrong. So when I first open up a new photo book, I'm inevitably always a little disappointed. I want the work inside to be my own every single time, and I guess it's sort of like a self-preservation tactic, you know. I can open up a book and be like, oh, this is disappointing and not so good because it's not mine. And that means that mine can still be really good. If this one isn't perfect and good, then mine can be perfect and good. And that absolutely makes me feel guilty. But photo books, like music albums, rarely make sense the first go around. It's easy to write off a new one that you're reading for the first time because it doesn't compare to one that you know intimately. Like an album where you know the transitions and you know what they're saying and you know what's about to happen is so much more exciting than one that you're hearing for the first time. Take this book, for example. The Instagram post and the cover of the book enticed me so heavily. It reminded me of this photo and the paper, the feeling of the book, the cover, the way it flicked, the way the tonality of the prints. Everything feels and looks so incredible, but then I started looking through it and I just got so bored. And I felt this sense of like, oh, I'm supposed to know what's going on right now. I'm supposed to know what I'm reading. And I'm supposed to know like how to read this book. But I just didn't. And it was boring. Like if I'm supposed to be a photographer making books, why can't I pick up a book and understand what I'm reading and seeing? That's frustrating and it makes me feel guilty. All of my favorite photo books are the ones that I've had for the longest amount of time. Like ones that I have a reading habit with, you know, an emotional connection, an understanding of the sequence and the feelings that I get from the book. These are my favorite books. And it's even better if over time they start to reveal new information. After that initial period of guilt and frustration, once I sit down and really look through a new book a couple of times, every single time I feel like a wave of inspiration and happiness. And often I like uncover the final key to what my photo book really needed. So what is the key? Sometimes the key is using phone photos with film photos. Sometimes the key is writing. Sometimes the key is repetition. Sometimes the key is letting go of control. And sometimes the key is the opposite. At the moment, the key seems to be making the photo book fun. Fun to feel, fun to look at, fun to see, fun to play with, fun to think about. Basically, just trying to make it a fun thing to do. So this is an example of a fun photo book. This is participation by Jordan Weitzman. He runs the Magic Hour podcast, my favorite photo podcast. I would definitely recommend giving it a listen. So it's a bunch of these really intimate portraits and still lifes of people in his life, I imagine, and places that he goes. It strikes a similar chord to the kind of work that I make, but there's a lot more nudity. These are extremely colourful, vibrant, and energetic photos. They're digital, and the book is really fun because there's lots of spreads, there's lots to look at. Every photo has like multiple points of interest, and it's the kind of book that the photos are super visual. Sometimes you can have photos that aren't visual, if you know what I mean, like photos that evoke a feeling, like the subject doesn't really matter, or for example, that, like, what? And then this spread here, it's like, that is such visual communication. And I guess the photos that I have, I think they have less of that. Like it's sort of like a magic trick, but with objects in the world, where I think mine are a little bit more straightforward, like straight to a feeling. There's no there are games with the placement of the object, but they're less fun. Anyway, good book. I'm pretty sure the point of this video was to talk about like the feeling of guilt that I get when I have photo books, but I think we got a bit off topic. It was in the script though, so like, whose fault is that? Here we are at the end of the video and I'm going off script. First thing I want to communicate is photo books make me feel good mostly. They are a major source of comfort, interest, information, and they make me feel like they give me a goal, they give me something to work towards. PhotoBook is something that since Frank Ocean's magazine came out, it's something that I've been really interested in and excited to make. And I feel like really for the past 3 years I've been making them in some way or another. Like I started taking photos very specifically for a photo book. Like I made a zine with photos that I stole from VSCO, and then I was like, next thing I'm going to make is going to be with my own photos. So, photo books are the goal for me. And the guilt that comes with them, I think it's partly like married to the idea of like buyer's remorse, like buying things sucks. And I think that's just something that is always going to be the case. Like if you buy something, you're always going to feel like, oh, I shouldn't have bought that in some way or another. Well, at least I will. At least I do at the moment. Maybe I won't in the future. I don't know. In the end, I think my goal for this year is to make my photo book, which at the moment is called You Remind Me of Me. I'm excited about this photo book and really worried about putting it out in a way. It's something that I've been working on since the beginning of COVID. So now, what is that, 2 years? And for the last year, the photos have been done and I've just been playing around with like what the photo book is, what it is and what it means. I think I'm finally there. And now I get to start the process of self-publishing the book. So at this stage, I want to make like 12 or maybe 13 copies of the thing. for me, and then for a few friends, and then like to send to publishers to see what happens. That's the goal, and that's what I'm going to do this year. For now, for the people in the back in Australia, I'm still in Amsterdam. I've got a job. I've been working a little bit, which is nice. It's nice to have some money coming in and some friends, which is cool. I've been thinking today, like a lot of people say, like something about you've made it when you realize that home is where you are. But I think it's more like, for me at this stage of my life, home is where my friends are, and so I need some friends. Good day.